I'm Darcy.
I'm Brian.
And we are the Stay-at-Home Gamers. And we are going to go over our top 25 games that we are super excited about checking out when we go to Origins 2019. So there are tons of games that are going to be either new releases or they're going to be demoing because they'll be released later this year, or just, newly available retail and stuff like that. There's so many games to check out and play and demo when we're at Origins, but we wanted to share with you some of our top ones that we're excited to check out. And we're hoping that these are ones that you want to learn more about too. So definitely leave us a comment. Let us know which one of these sound like what you're the most interested in learning more about, because we're going to try to, if we can, demo all of these. We're going to at least try to stop by and get pictures and get a little closer look and just get a little bit more familiarized with these games, because the ones that we're talking about today, for the most part, we're not super familiar with because of how new they are.
Yeah.
So there's definitely lots of other games at our Origins that we love dearly that are going to be there or that we've talked about previously. This is pretty much just limited to ones that are very new to us. For the most part, I'm not including expansions on this list. There's at least one
There's a couple,
that I'm including, but for the most part, I'm not including those. So
New IPs.
Start talking about these. And this is not really in any particular order, because that would have been too much for my brain to handle to try to rank these in order, and I couldn't do that. So from Thames and Cosmos, we have Roll for Adventure, which is a cooperative dice rolling fantasy game. And we like those kinds of games. The kids enjoy playing cooperative games with us. This one is for 2 to 4 players. It does say ages 10 plus, but you know your kids best. We know how our kids do with a lot of games. So for sure our 8-year-old would be fine. More than likely our 6-year-old would be too. Just depends. He might need a little additional help. But since it's cooperative, that makes it,
doesn't matter how old they are at this point.
Yeah, it sounds fun. You're like getting together and trying to collect power stones and complete a magical amulet. But you need to make sure that the Dark Lord does not take control over anything.
He wants friends too.
He wants friends. Aww. Well, if that happens, you all lose.
Oh.
There's also some great new games coming from Calliope Games, and they are also celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. Nice. So a couple of the games from them that we are definitely looking forward to checking out. There's one that's called Everyone Loves a Parade.
I like parades.
I like a parade. The box looks super cute because it looks like there's like this, like big dog kind of. It reminded me of like Macy Day Parade, like a big balloon kind of thing. So basically what you're doing in this is that you're competing to like decorate and craft floats for a parade. So, and then you're trying to like influence what the crowd thinks. So this is going to be new. It's releasing in June of this year. So definitely looking forward to checking that one out. They have a lot of great like family games. So definitely curious to get the kids' opinions when they come with us to check this out. Another one of their releases for June is called SpyMaster. It's a cyberpunk espionage game. So there's some area control elements to it and things like that. And it just, it sounds a little bit different than some of the other stuff that we play, but also including game mechanics that we enjoy. And, I mean, kids think spies are cool. Yeah. So it'll be fun to check that one out. The OP, formerly known as USAopoly. So the OP has a few different games that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out, and they
have lots of IPs and stuff.
They do,
Marvel,
yeah.
Whatever.
So I kind of had to like narrow my list a little bit because they have a lot of stuff that I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting, but I only chose a couple of them to share right now. I'm sure we'll be sharing quite a bit when we meet with them while we're at Origins. But Dungeon Academy looked really interesting. It's a Rollin Right game, and we've been on a Rollin Right kick.
Oh, we have.
And it says for 1 to 6 players, ages 10 plus. But again, more than likely, I would say at least our 8-year-old would be fine playing this one. And it's a quick game, about 20 minutes. So you're playing as young students that are battling monsters and collecting potions and loot, and you're like trying to get out of a dungeon. So the Rollin Right is all about like trying to get your path like out of the dungeon. So it looks very interesting and like another fun take on Rollin Right. And then there's Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle Defense Against the Arts. It's Dark Arts, I'm sorry. just against the arts. Yeah, just completely.
Don't like the arts anymore.
Against the dark arts. So this is a competitive deck building game, but it's only for 2 players. So yeah.
Your ROM's like, I'm assuming? Deck building?
I would think so. I mean... You're
building your deck as you play it.
Yeah. We haven't played Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Like, they have a cooperative card game that we have not actually played that yet. So this is not like an expansion or anything to it. This is separate. This is a completely separate game. But this one is for 2 players only. But definitely interested in checking it out, especially since we have some friends that are huge Harry Potter fans. Now, this next one from them... Not entirely sure if I'll classify it as a family game yet, but I think we would get a kick out of it, and I think the target market is not our children anyway. Die Hard Nakatomi Heist, the board game. So that's going to be, like, it's brand new this year, and they're going to be demoing it there. So looking forward to check it out. The OP recently did a live stream playthrough of their Die Hard board game, so we'll leave a link in the description so that you guys can check that out. But it's like a one versus many game. So
instead of playing against the game, you play against one person.
Yeah, so it's asymmetric in its gameplay. So like one person is John McClane, and then everyone else is like the thieves and stuff, like trying to foil his plan of saving everybody. So yeah, I mean, especially anyone who's familiar with the movies would probably enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jake Peralta would definitely want to play it.
Yeah, he would.
So, Direwolf Digital will have Game of Thrones Oathbreaker there at the Renegade Game Studios booth. I'm interested in checking it out because we're fans of Game of Thrones and stuff. And I think this might be the only chance that we would have to play it.
Yeah.
Because you have to have 5 to 8 people.
Yeah,
so at a convention, we should be able to find enough people to play.
Yeah.
But on our normal like game nights and stuff, we generally wouldn't have enough people.
Kids aren't really Game of Thrones fans.
Right. Like, it's pretty easy for us to get 4 adults together. Mm-hmm. But anything over that, not always. No. So this one, I think... Mr. X would really enjoy. It's called Draftosaurus.
I don't know what it's about.
He loves dinosaurs. So in this one, you're building a dino park. I mean, we do have a game that's like that already, but this plays differently. Mm-hmm. So you're building a dino park, and you just have like dino meeples that you're drafting. So you're not drafting cards, you're not drafting dice, you're drafting the actual meeples, and you have to place them into like areas in the park. Yeah. So yeah, it looks fun, especially, you know, for including the kids and stuff. So I think he'll get a kick out of that one, and I'm excited to see what he thinks of it. I definitely want to check out Planet from Blue Orange Games. It'll be our chance to get our hands on it.
It's just more physical.
Yeah, because you have like the 3D planet and stuff. So I mean they have some other games some new games that we'll be checking out too, but that was kind of at the top of my list of like, I want to just actually try that one in person. So I'm looking forward to that. There's Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth. It's a cooperative deck builder game, and we have found that we enjoy deck building games.
That was what the video we watched. There was the top game the last 3 months.
Yes.
So that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and this one's by Fantasy Flight Games. Yeah, that's right. On the videos that Board Game Chaz does. Yeah. If you haven't seen any of those, we'll drop a link for that in there as well. He goes over like the top hottest games according to the ratings or discussions on Board Game Geek each month. So yeah, that one, I mean, it looks interesting, and you know,
kids like Lord of the Rings.
It's geeky and deck building, and it's a game.
We're good. Checks all the boxes.
It does. And then, you know, you can sit around doing your Smeagol impressions.
Yeah, that's the one reason to play it.
Because that's not annoying when people do that constantly. But you're going to do it anyway, right? Not you specifically. I mean, just...
I don't have a good one.
I would do it. No. At least once while playing. Maybe not at Origins so that I don't annoy anybody, but at home or with my friends.
How do your people there, though?
This is true. But we'd all be like, my precious. So Fireside Games will have My First Castle Panic at Origins. And I'm interested in checking it out. We have Castle Panic.
I think it's still sealed.
It is. We got it pretty recently. But we do have the regular Castle Panic, but this one is geared towards younger kids, so I'm very interested in seeing it up close and personal and sharing it with you guys, especially those of you that have younger children that you are introducing to games. So because this one is designed for ages 4+, it's still a cooperative game. You're still defending the castle, but instead of the reading that's involved in the regular game, it's focusing more so on like matching and recognizing like colors and shapes and things like that. So and the artwork looks really cute, especially for being geared towards kids. So I'm curious to see what our children think of it, and I'm pretty sure it's in the family game room. Okay. There it's probably, and also like in their booth, but they have like an actual like room dedicated for family gaming this year. So I know that one is in there as well as a few other ones. So we will be spending some time in there, checking those out, playing them, seeing how that goes. Another game that I'm kind of curious to see up close and personal by Genius Games is Periodic, a game of the elements. So it's taking the periodic table and turning it into a game.
It's a great way to learn that stuff.
Yeah.
We had that one app they used to play that was like that, and they could like make things with little creatures with the different...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the kids used to like playing that. Yeah.
So that's kind of reminds me. They liked it, so...
Yeah. So in the description for this one, it kind of described it as like a pick up and deliver kind of game, and I don't remember what else it said. Because there's just different things you have to do, like moving through the periodic table. Mm-hmm. So it looks interesting, and, you know, even though I feel like you can learn something from any game that you're playing, it is nice to have some very fun... educational focused games. So curious to check that one out and have the kids learning about the periodic table without having to feel like they're sitting there memorizing it. Gold Seal Games has a game that looks very pretty, and I apologize ahead of time. I may or may not say this correctly, okay? Kohaku?
That's what it looks like. It's a little thing over the O. I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not entirely sure either. I don't know if it's supposed to be a longer O or not. So this game is a peaceful koi pond building game. So it's a tile laying game, and it just looks pretty and relaxing and something, you know, that's great for family game time. So I'm also interested in checking out some of these games from Kids Table because they look really interesting. They definitely look kid friendly. They have Bugs on Rugs that's going to be there.
No, we're good.
Well, the bugs themselves are not going to be there. So it's kind of a set collection game. You're drafting bugs, and then you're trying to get them into the areas that they like to be. Like some bugs like to be on the floor, and like the spiders want flies, and like so you're trying to get them into certain places. It's quick to play, and it's for ages 6+, and yeah, it just looks like something kind of fun kids would enjoy. It's kind of silly, and for a kid like ours who doesn't like bugs, maybe a good way to have them be doing something with bugs that's in a non-scary fashion. Yeah. And then they also have a game that they're going to have at Origins called Wreck Raiders, and I thought this one sounded really interesting. It's for a little bit older crowd than Bugs on Rugs, but it's for 1 to 5 players. They say ages 10+, and it's about a 45-minute playtime compared to the other one being like 15-25 minutes. A dice drafting worker placement game, but you're like diving into the ocean, like recovering things from, you know, shipwrecks and stuff. Sure. So yeah, and then you're like kind of trying to build like your museum exhibits with the stuff, and you also have to be careful because, you know, the other players might try to take part of your haul, like they might dive kind of where you are, and so then you're not recovering all the stuff yourself and that kind of thing. But But yeah, it sounds interesting. It sounds different and a great way to introduce the kids to some different game mechanics in a really neat theme. Colossal Games will be demoing Papillion, which I'm definitely interested in because it's about butterflies. They have like 3D like butterfly pieces and stuff, and I really, really love butterflies. So it's, you're doing tile drafting and you're kind of like building the area and stuff. But you're building your garden and you're trying to attract the butterflies there and that kind of thing. So it looks pretty, it looks interesting. I like the theme of it. And then Panesar Schemes, they'll have a few different things there. One of them that I think looks really interesting is, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, Areal. It's Portuguese. I apologize. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So it's a abstract puzzle kind of game. So it reminded me kind of Patchwork, just in that, you're placing different pieces and stuff. But the game title references like a popular like celebration that they do in Portugal. So you're trying to make your neighborhood event like have the best decorations and try to attract more people to it and that kind of stuff. And it just seems interesting. I like some puzzly kind of games and stuff. I was
surprising how fun they are usually. You're like not expecting.
So it says 1 to 4 players, so it must have a solo mode.
This was fun.
And I mean, as much as I love Patchwork, it's only 2 player. Yeah. And there's a variety of puzzly abstract kind of games like that, but I like that this one is 1 to 4 players, and then it says 8+. I mean, it's definitely something that the kids could play with us. And then it says about 30-minute gameplay time, so that's about perfect, especially with the kids. So interested in checking that out. It definitely looks very like bright and colorful.
That's good too.
So visually interesting. Renegade Game Studios has several things that we're interested in checking out, and a couple of them are Rollin Rights. Nice. And I'm all about Rollin Rights right now. I'm like super excited to check these out. So they have Hex Roller and they have Lanterns, Dice, Lights in the Sky. So we haven't played the other Lanterns game, but this is a Rollin Right. I don't want to necessarily say a version of it, but I'm sure there's some similarities. So with Hex Roller, it's you're basically just trying to fill like a hexagon grid, in doing that in the Roll Right fashion. But with the Lanterns Dice one, you're trying to get the most points with like having the lanterns and doing fireworks and stuff like that. Cool. So definitely interested in checking it out. It did make me think of Tangled because of the lanterns, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to check that one out.
So you sell to your kids.
Right. This game is like Tangled. Let's go play that. Sometimes it works. So speaking of Rollin Rights, do you sense a theme? I should have just done a list of Rollin Right games I'm excited about. Steve Jackson Games will be having Deadly Doodles there.
Sounds like a clown.
It's not. I mean, yeah, Doodles. Deadly Doodles. It's a scary clown. This one had a dragon on the cover of it, though. So I wasn't terrified. No. So we're okay. We're going to stay away from the It game that the OP is going to have, though, because that's not for me. I don't like clowns. They scare me. So, we have zombie dice, which the kids enjoy. So Deadly Doodles is a 1 to 4 player game where you're drawing paths out of a dangerous dungeon. So I don't know if it's fully considered a Roll and Write game necessarily, but that sounds along those lines, where you're having to draw your path out and you're trying to collect loot and you're trying to fight monsters and you're
things you want to do,
trying to defeat the dragon and that kind of stuff. So it sounds interesting. I definitely want to check that out. This is just as a side note because I didn't want to turn it into a list of Roll and Write games, but Stronghold Games has several Roll and Write games that will be at Origins.
And we did play Steamrollers, and we saw that last year, and we bought it now, and that's by them.
So I'm not going through and listing all of the games all the Roll and Write games from Stronghold that'll be at Origins, but there's several. And I got very excited. I sort of feel like it's the year of the Roll and Write. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it definitely seems to be kind of like a growing trend right now, which
I feel like it has a lot more stuff you can do,
Yeah, I mean,
things you can draw. And,
there's just so much that like
you can kind of go a little deeper depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, because I mean, there's different themes that you can go with. There's slight variations on how you approach what it is that how you're doing it. With how you're drawing things or selecting things and that stuff. Yep. But I think they have great replayability, and they're a great way to bring in people who you would not consider gamers. When you're trying to appeal to a non-gamer and show them how awesome games are, like modern games are, these are good options. And I think they're good with kids too.
Yeah, drawing.
Yeah. So that's my little side note that there's even more like awesome games that we're looking forward to from them. I honestly have not heard of this next one at all until I was looking through the big list on Board Game Geek, but it caught my eye, so I added it to my list. So the publisher is called Strawberry Studio, which I have not heard of them, so I'm curious to see like what else that they might have out there. But they have a game that they'll have at Origins called Little Monster That Came for Lunch and Stayed for Tea.
That's British.
Like, it just sounds cute. So it's a light racing game. You're trying to like have your monsters finish eating first, I believe is what it is, and they have like different skills and stuff, but it just kind of sounded like something that the kids would enjoy playing.
Kind of sounds like the Tea Party or one Tea Dragon Society card game kind of way, where
kind of along those lines, where it's like
cute
and lighthearted, and it'll be interesting to see, because I do like to uncover some of these like hidden gems and share them with you guys too. So Weird Giraffe Games. I love the publisher name, Weird Giraffe Games. So you don't have to be a giraffe to play this.
It helps.
So I'm interested in checking out Fire in the Library. I saw some posts on Instagram about it, and it looked kind of interesting. It is a press your luck kind of game, which for the most part we don't play a lot of those. Those don't always go over with our kids super well. Obviously we have some, like I mentioned Zombie Dice before, that's press your luck.
And Dragon Over Skull.
Yeah. But this one did look interesting. You're basically trying to rescue books from a library. So, I mean, I like books. And you're trying to, like, accumulate knowledge and stuff. So the last 3 games on our list today are from Thunderworks Games. And they are all kind of related to a game that we really enjoy. These are only going to be available to demo while we're there. They're not going to be available for purchase. At least that's not what the info says at this point in time. 2 of the games should be releasing this year. One of them is going to be releasing in 2020, it said. But I will be happy if I can demo these. So they will have Cartographers, which is a role-player tale. So it's set in the role-player universe, but it's a standalone game. And this one sounds like a Rollin Right, actually.
Yeah,
you're like maps. Creating a map, carrying out information from the queen, like, she wants certain areas to have greater influence or not, kind of thing. So it sounds interesting, and I'm definitely interested in checking that one out. And then Lockup, we've heard a little bit about Lockup.
They were playing that at Midwinter.
Yes, he demoed it at Midwinter. We didn't get to play at the time. But that's also in the role-player universe, and that one is a worker placement game. You were basically managing minions within a prison, within the Kolbach prison, and so you're trying to keep the guards from being suspicious of what you're up to and that kind of thing, and then like trying to grow your crew and stuff. So hopefully we'll get a chance to demo it while we're there. And this last one I'm super, super excited about is called Fiends and Familiars, and it is the newest expansion for Role Player. Now, again, it'll only be for demo because it's not ready to release yet.
Saw a little bit of it at other conventions, I think, right? Like art and whatever.
Well, we've seen the art for the box. I don't think we got to see anything further on that one.
We learned a little bit about it.
Yeah, and it will require the base game Role Player as well as the expansion Monsters and Minions in order to play Fiends and Familiars. But yeah, I'm really, really hoping to demo it. So you'll be able to add a familiar to your character. So you'll obviously have more options with your character creation. Fiends are going to be doing things to provide obstacles to getting things done. There's going to be new minions, new monsters, new market cards, you know, kinds of additions into it. We will need a bigger box, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm super excited about checking that one out.
Awesome.
So those are the top 25 games that we are looking forward to checking out at Origins 2019. Of course, that's only a small portion of the games that are going to be available there to demo, to play, to buy, and all that good stuff. But we are super excited to go and check it out and spend time with other gamers and just be surrounded by board game awesomeness.
Yep.
So let us know in the comments if there are any of these that you are super excited to learn more about. If you have maybe even played any of these already, let us know in the comments. And if you're going to be there, let us know that as well. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share the video, and we will see you at the next game.
Bye.